Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday here in East Memphis. It's a beautiful day. It's a little bit warmer today, and we've got Grizzlies basketball tonight. But in the meantime, I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, checking in live with my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. Drew, Twitter was down earlier. I think it's back up and running. Looks like everything's good. If you're on X, give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're here. But, Drew, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. It's a beautiful day here in North Mississippi. The line crews are setting out Christmas lights on all the little power poles here. It's feeling festive. It's good. And, you know, most days, you know, when there's a lull, I pick up my phone and I look at Twitter, and it's just how I pass, you know, any 30 seconds, maybe a minute, maybe 5 minutes of just a lag in the day. It's a bad habit, but it's just something that I do. I didn't miss Twitter one bit this morning with all the garbage that is just surrounding Ole Miss right now and Lane Kiffin we'll get to later. Twitter shutting down for an hour or however long it was this morning was just a blessing.
Yeah, honestly, it was probably the best thing for your mental health just to get away from it for a few minutes. But we will rehash that and live through that because there were some interesting developments over the last 24, 48 hours. With a certain plane ride, which we'll get into, as well as another college football coach who has a job now. But before we get to that, we got a Grizzlies game. And before we get to that, we've got some buffoonery we got to get through.
That's right. Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. You can find us here every single day at 11 a.m. to eat lunch with us. We don't eat lunch on our lunch break. I mean, as far as the world knows, we don't eat lunch because this is what we do on our lunch break. We sacrifice lunches to bring you shows in which at least once a week we have a segment in which we talk about food. So it's just really unfortunate sometimes.
Just what we do, yeah. I'm sitting here,
it's just
hungry.
The burden we bear. It's just the burden we bear. So it's Tuesday. That's where we talk about the weekly favorite meal, I guess. We call it our Tasting Tuesdays with the $2 on Tuesdays. Lots of T's, lots of alliteration. Tease. So, Rusty, you got anything for us?
I do. So we're going to talk about pizza types. Last week I was going to New York City and had my first experience with real, authentic New York style pizza. Much like Michael Scott in The Office, we went to Sbarro's, because that's the known local pizza place. I'm just kidding. We did not go to Sbarro's. We went to some just little like pizza place around the corner from a hotel on Restaurant Row. Banging. The dough is just this perfect sweetness and fluffiness, and they're big pieces. And New York style pizza took a leg up in my book. I've always been a thin crust guy, like just ever since I was a kid. Thin crust is the way to go, especially when it's round and you've got the little square pieces you can cut out of it. Like that's the goated thin crust pizza. But Drew, I got to tell you, New York style pizza took a leg up this past week, a large step up into the realm of thin crust after actually having authentic New York style pizza.
I was going to say, isn't New York style pizza a thin crust pizza?
It's a thinner, but it's not the crunchy. It's still doughy. It's still soft, but it's thinner. Okay. It's bigger, and it's just a little bit sweeter than like a regular like thick crust. It's kind of in between the crispiness of a thin crust and the thickness of a thick crust at Pizza Hut.
Okay, yeah, I've had Sbarro. Once you've had one, you've had them all. We went and ate at this place. Rusty, you would know this. My favorite kind of pizza you can't find anywhere hardly anymore. There was a place that opened up not too long ago in Corinth, Mississippi, to replace the great cornerstone of corner slice pizza, sourdough bread pizza.
That place.
There's another place in Corinth that does sourdough pizza now, and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. And my stance on pizza is like my stance on just about everything. Immovable. Pizza is the greatest food on the face of the earth. Yeah. I think if I had to pick one dish to eat the rest of my life, it would be pizza. Because now, if you told me I had to pick one flavor of pizza or one flavor of thing to eat the rest of my life. I don't know if I could just eat pepperoni pizza the rest of my life. But the great thing about pizza is you can have 1,000 different types of pizza. As long as there's no pineapples on it, I'll eat it. And I'll eat it every day, ever.
Man,
Forever.
I love a good Hawaiian pizza, especially like an angry Hawaiian. It's got jalapenos, give it a little kick, go with the sweetness of the pineapple. Like, to me, like the goated pizza, though, I love.
You know who else liked pineapple on their pizza?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
John Wilkes Booth.
Stone Cold Steve Austin absolutely does. But I like to eat well-rounded, and so give me a Supreme pizza.
And pizzas are very round.
And so am I because of all the pizza I've eaten. But give me a Supreme. It's got sausage. It's got your protein. It's got all your veggies. It's got your cheese for your dairy. It's got your wheat in the dough. Give me a Supreme thin crust pizza, and I don't know what everybody else is going to eat because I'm going to eat that whole thing.
Is there any topping on a Supreme that you won't eat on it? I don't do black olives. That's the only thing I could do without.
Yeah, I love a black olive. I got a funny Taco Bell story about black olives when I was a kid. I guess it's not funny, but we had like free Taco Bell
don't share
for
it.
almost anyways. It's awesome because we had free Taco Bell for basically a year in Corinth because I bit into back when I was a kid in the Stone Age, you get black olives on the Mexican pizzas. And I bit into one, and there was a piece of the can on it, and it like sliced the roof of my mouth. And Jim Little came down there, a whole big thing, and we got this card that you could swipe, and we got free Taco Bell. So, buddy, we ate Taco Bell a lot that year.
I tell you what, if I never had Taco Bell again, I think I would go years without realizing I haven't had Taco Bell.
That's true.
But, buddy, family of 6 with an unlimited free. Buddy, we beat some Taco Bell. The Gans would need a bigger door because we would eat Taco Bell every day.
I don't know how my parents did it back then because like now as an adult, I realized that you don't actually own Taco Bell. You just rent it for a little while. And they were eating it with us. And I'm like, now that I'm older and my GI system, I guess, is fully developed, like Taco Bell does not sit well. Like if I get on a road trip, I usually have it for about 2 exits and then it's time to do something else.
Yeah. You got to make a deposit. Rent comes due.
That's it. It comes due quickly from Taco Bell.
So I don't know how we devolved in from our pizza talk to explosive diarrhea and how long we can make it on the interstate after eating Taco Bell. But let's real quick off script. King Meeks is in the comments. Let's just congratulate King Meeks.
Give it up.
He's famous. He had a photo shoot. I mean, it's legit when there's a photo shoot around. So our guy King Meeks is in here with us every day. And if you are in here every day or just part of the days, and especially if you're here in the comments like King Meeks is with us, we share victories with people who hang out with us.
And we couldn't be more proud of our guy for getting the award from St. Jude, being recognized on social media in front of his peers. Like, it's a pretty prestigious award that he won, and we appreciate you spending your lunch break with us.
And I believe it came with, was it like $1 million check, King Meeks? I can't remember.
I think it was 1.5. 1.5. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
maybe he should send some to the Tigers to help that buyout for firing Silverfield.
Yikes! Because if you watch the commercials on this network, it is a dark time to be a Memphis Tigers sports.
Just living in Memphis has got to feel pretty rough right now.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm removed. I'm removed a little bit. My only rooting interest in Memphis are the Grizzlies, and that's bad enough.
Yeah.
But to have your have your emotions tied to the Memphis Tigers and the Memphis Grizzlies right now,
that's a tough look.
Long walk off a short cliff.
Kenny and I, we talked about doing a Memphis Tigers bowl game watch party at Grind City Brewing, and
you could probably watch it at the Liberty Bowl.
He was like, buddy, there's never been a darker time for Memphis football than it is right now. Like, everybody's out on them. We might have one person show up. I'm like, right,
they're going to be playing at the Liberty Bowl. I mean, what are we talking about? Just go over there.
Yeah, he said it'll be like this it's trending towards the Liberty Bowl and Iowa State, which will be the 3rd year in a row that they played Iowa State in a bowl game. It currently sits at 1-1, and so maybe they can go and unlock the tie there.
A 7-game series between the Cyclones and the Tigers.
I love it. Absolutely love it. But speaking of watch parties, just a quick teaser. We are going to do one next Friday. College Football Saturday becomes College Football Friday as a special Egg Bowl edition at Grind City Brewing next Friday. Live show at 2 o'clock. The Egg Bowl is on at 11. Georgia Tech at 2:30. A&M in Texas at 6:30. $5 beers for all fans wearing Mississippi State gear. And Drew, we didn't leave you out this time. $5 beers for all fans wearing Ole Miss gear during the game as well. So y'all come out after you had your belly full of turkey, you had your belly full of family time. Come hang out with us at Grind City Brewing.
I think you should reduce the price to $3 for Mississippi State fans. They're going to need it a lot more.
We are. Like I'm not.
I mean,
no argument
y'all gonna find yourself in a ditch one way or the other. Just at least make it cheaper.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it as we get closer to it, but I just the Egg Bowl I'm not overly excited about, but I've got 2 weeks for a run up to get myself overly excited when I shouldn't be. But before we get to college football, because we do have some coaching drama and changes to talk about, we do got to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and their basketball game tonight.
That's right. It is the Tuesday edition of the $2 Sports Show. We did Tasted Tuesdays where we talked about food and we tried to put as many T's on the beginning of our sentences as possible.
That's awesome.
And now we got to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently on a 5-game losing streak. They are 4 and is it 36 at this point? Or is it just 15? I don't know. You're not even listening.
No, sorry. I was checking to see if something was going on. The Memphis Grizzlies, what now? What'd you say?
I said I think they're like 4 and 36 at this point.
That seems right. If you look at social media, especially, it's like 4 and 100. We've never won any basketball games.
I've already talked about it once. If you complain about social media and the people on it, then you just need to have self-control and get off of it. That's the best. I think even the people that live and love social media would also admit that it is just the drenches of society at the same time.
It is, and that's why the mute button, the black button, and all that work beautifully for me when these takes pop up. And so keep them coming. Keep the negative takes coming because I just keep hitting mute and clearing out my timeline. But the Memphis Grizzlies do play tonight against Victor Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs. The basketball gods have shined upon us, Drew. They realized that, hey, we've been picking on Memphis a bit much with Ja Morant getting hurt and being out now, and Zach Edey being out for surgery for so long, but coming back. And Victor Wembanyama is out tonight for tonight's game and possibly a while with a calf soreness, and Stephon Castle is not playing tonight. Now, it hasn't moved the line a whole lot, Drew, for the game tonight. Over on FanDuel, the Spurs are still a 6-point favorite. The Grizz are plus 190 on the money line. You can get Jaren Jackson Jr. at 23.5 points over under, Cedric Coward at 13.5, and Zach Edey at 11.5. Why do you think that Wemby, Stephon Castle news hasn't moved the line?
Because we suck. I mean, buddy, I just said well done, we're like 4 and 13, 4 and 12 right now, 4 and 11.
We're 4 and 10.
4 and 10. I'm projecting. So yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard to just say we should be favored. I know that Wemby has been on a generational run here to start the season, but he's out. Stephon Castle's out. They still have. I guess you're going to get the De'Aaron Fox show. De'Aaron Fox has killed us before. Listen, there's things to be positive about, I guess. I was really impressed with what Edey did to the team. Right or wrong, he obviously holds the keys and unlocks a lot of effort to this team. I've bellyached about that, but you just can't really argue with it. I think that the Grizzlies you should probably take the Grizzlies -6 tonight. This is in San Antonio, correct?
This is in San Antonio. Yep. 7 o'clock. It's a nationally televised game on Peacock. It's one that they had picked earlier in the year to be nationally televised. Now you can get tickets as low as $16 if you're in the greater San Antonio area and you want to go to the game. But yeah, the Grizzlies coming on a 4-game losing streak. It's not been pretty, but the Spurs are 2-2 in their last 4. I think the Spurs are a bit of fool's gold, Drew. Listen, you're right. Wemby has been on a generational run, but no Wemby tonight. They have wins over Dallas, New Orleans, Brooklyn. Toronto's a good team. Miami's scoring a lot. They do have a win over Houston, but they have wins over New Orleans and Chicago and Sacramento. Their losses have been to Golden State, Phoenix, and the Lakers. So I think
they've had a pretty easy schedule, it seems.
It's a product of their schedule, because if you look at our schedule, we have played a gauntlet. And this, especially without Wemby and Stephon Castle, starts a string of games that might be winnable, especially if, knock on wood, we can get Ty Jerome back a little bit healthier. We can get Ja Morant back healthy again. We got San Antonio and then Sacramento, Dallas. Denver comes to Memphis on Monday, 11/24. And then we go to New Orleans, to the Clippers, to the Kings, and to the Spurs, and then the Clippers again. So there's a run in there where if we can start getting right, we can start getting closer to 500 again.
Here's something that I think we should look at, and Michelangelo's in the comments now. Michelangelo is Chief Tomas Isolo lover fan club. I think he came over from Europe with Isolo, and we are not the pro Isolo guys. And he says in the comments that he took a break because he didn't want to be among the negativity. That's a
fair.
Smart move.
That's fair. Smart. I'm proud of
That's a very well-rounded, well-thought-out person. But what I think you could look forward, what you could possibly project, and what I'm looking forward tonight is, what does this look without Ja Morant? And not to say that this should reflect towards change your opinions over you should trade him or not if the Grizzlies have success. But we've seen it with these European-style offenses before. If you play a bunch of role players out there, the ball moves around, the offense kind of works.
Yeah.
It benefits the wrong people more times than not, which is what was my beef with the communist offense last year and the fascist offense this year. I think you should favor Ja Morant. I think you should favor Jaren Jackson Jr. And with Ja out, you're going to have a bunch of role players and Jaren, who's not an alpha. So I could see a very real situation in which this ball bops around a lot tonight, and the offense looks good. And I'm just going to get out in front of it and say, if that happens, I'm not going to say that the offense should stay.
Nope. That, if nothing else, that's more of a knock against the offense. Right. It's elevating the wrong
Just kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I mean, that's it. That's it. You got to win tonight, and I'm still going to hate your offense, and that's just kind of how it is. But you're right. Like the other night without Ja against the Cavs, we saw Jaren kind of take over and step up in that role. We're going to need that kind of effort again tonight. We're going to have a size advantage down low with no Wemby. This is an opportunity for Zach Edey to do what he did against the Cavs, take up space, be big, block shots, get rebounds, and allow Jaren to play a bit more free, to the tune of 23 shots against the Cavs the other night, leading to 26 points. It wasn't efficient. 26 points on 23 shots. Wasn't efficient. But there is nobody else when Ja is out that I would rather be taking that level of shots. Maybe we take a few off and give them to Cedric. But I do like Jaren kind of being the focal point of the offense with Edey being back. There was even some two-man post game.
If Ja's going to struggle, if his shot's going to struggle, I don't mind Jaren Jackson Jr. taking 23 shots with Ja on the court. If Ja's only taking the shots that are, giving him smart shots, that still leaves plenty of shots out there for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And tonight we're going to need a lot of that. Again, I saw a brief glimpse of two-man post games with Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. that gave me some flashbacks to Mark and Zebo, and it gave me hope that there's a hope for this offense if we could get those two guys going. But the Grizzlies did add a two-way player. Solo and PJ Hall. We added Jemai Meshack, Drew. I don't know that he's not going to start tonight. I think your starting lineup is going to be Vince. It's going to be Cedric. It's going to be Jalen. It's going to be Jaren and Edey. And I think that we will see some Jemai Meshack, if nothing else, because he is an effort player and he gives you hope defensively when we have not had much hope so far this year.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit on yesterday's show, where when you talk about what we thought we were going to need coming into the season versus what we need now, we were really shy on front court depth. Thankfully, the straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to needing backcourt help came as soon as Zach Edey came back into the lineup, and so you were able to sacrifice PJ Hall. It's been a long day, whatever. We're veering, in Fast and Furious, when they veer on separate sides of the road, and we finally said goodbye to Paul Walker. That's what we did as we left out of Cleveland on Sunday. The team bus went one way, and PJ Hall and an Uber went the other. And we got Jemai Meshack to come back or to make his first appearance. And we all wondered when it was happening, but it's just an indication of what you need right now. And your only guards that you can play, true guards, I guess, is Vince Williams Jr. and Cam Spencer. And you've got to have a third guard. And what I like about Meshack, and the reason why I think he sticks, is because of all the players on this team, none of them really excel at one thing. They're kind of just all kind of toolsy. You can get in where you fit in. He's got an elite characteristic about him, and he is just going to be a defender. So if you saw, I wouldn't surprise me at all if you see stints in this game, his first game as a Grizzly, in which they're just going to throw him out on De'Aaron Fox and say, show me what you got.
Yep. And we need that tonight because De'Aaron Fox has been a Grizz killer in the past. And if he can go out there and put the clamps on him and play, I think what happened was they watched that fourth quarter and saw what Donovan Mitchell did to us without a true guard and was like, we got to get some defense in there some way.
But Donovan Mitchell's going to do that to a lot of people.
A lot of people. But we saw, look, we don't need PJ Hall being a cheerleader on the bench anymore. We need a guy who can get in the way of some of these guards. Jemai Meshack, you're up. And this is what we called on this show a long time ago that was going to happen, that Jemai Meshack would get the call, PJ Hall would get the boot. And that's what happened, and we're moving on with that. So, Drew, tonight, we got to go get a win, man. Like, winning cures all. And if you can go out and get a win tonight against a Wemby and Stephon Castle-less Spurs, it sets you up for a pretty good run over the course of the next 3 weeks, even 4 weeks. I mean, after we played Denver on the 24th, you don't really play a team with a pulse again. You play Spurs on the 2nd, and then you play Minnesota on December 17th.
I have a real problem with saying you don't play teams with a pulse as if we're not 4-10.
We don't have. I'm trying to be positive. I mean,
if this is the NFL, we are looking at like the 5th pick.
Listen, I'm trying to stay out of the negativity here. Shout out Michelangelo. I'm trying to help.
Sometimes reality is negative, okay?
You've been on a generational run of negativity. Opening the show Sunday night with like, it's going to be a dark day in Memphis. You better hope it's not a dark day, to now like I'm trying to give the people hope. And Uncle Buck is being your. I'm
just saying, you talk about when we pre-record shows, you always talk about how these need to be timeless, evergreen content. And you started the show with saying it's a beautiful day. And I was like, hope.
Lord,
they come to us for relief. If there's been tragedy and you start this show saying, good morning, Memphis.
Then people still need it, especially in tragic times.
True.
But if you are a basketball junkie, that's gonna be the end of our basketball talk for today. But I do want to talk about, if you're a Tigers fan, Thursday night at Mugshots Grill and Bar. Listen, I'm gonna meet you if you come in negative again. The Tigers play the Purdue Boilermakers, one of the top 2 teams in the country, Thursday night. They're gonna be up against it, and we're gonna be up against it at Mugshots because the Purdue Boilermakers Memphis alumni chapter or whatever apparently has got some traction. They found out about this and they're coming. There's gonna be a lot of Purdue fans in the building.
Highlights is coming.
It's coming. He's gonna be there. But y'all come out to Mugshot, 656 West Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Tennessee, Thursday beginning at 4:30 for the watch party. Stick around for the Tigers post-game live. They're going to have beer and food specials all night. Come hang out. We'll watch the Tigers if you can't get enough Memphis basketball in pain right now.
Is Francis flying in for this?
No, he's going to do it from California. I think Kenny and Roman are going to be doing the show from Mugshots, and Francis is going to be patched in.
Francis is still upset. Francis is still upset that commercial is still running.
Yeah, we're going to find out because we're going to commercial. On the other side of this commercial break, we're going to come back. We're going to talk a little college football as we have a new employed coach and a coach that's still trying to figure out what he's going to do.
How much of this is fixable with time?
I mean, I think you can maybe see the effort get better. I think they can probably rebound a little better, and they can start getting the right guys the ball more often. But beyond that, I think it's pretty fair to say that this team is capped to a certain extent. You may just be what you are.
If the question you're asking is what is fixable And if it's fixed, will it produce what we saw last year or the year before, whatever it may be? If that's the ultimate goal, that might not be a proper goal for this team. The goal is to get the team fixable to where they can win the conference and make it to the NCAA tournament, and then potentially do some damage as they, go into the NCAA tournament. There are some things that are fixable. There are some things on this that we saw out there that are absolutely fixable.
Tune in to Tigers Live with Francis Carlotta, live after every Memphis Tiger basketball game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story. Calling all Tiger fans, your place to watch the first round matchup between the Memphis Tigers and number 1 ranked Purdue Boilermakers is at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville, Tennessee. 4:30 p.m. Thursday, November 20th. Come hang out with Bluff City Media at the South's premier sports bar. Great food, beer specials, and large television screens will make Mugshots the place to be to cheer on your Tiger basketball team. Also, Tigers Live, the premier Memphis Tigers postgame show, will be live after the game from Mugshots. Come hang out with us this Thursday.
To say that Zach Edey made an impact would be a huge understatement, I would argue. But the point differential with Ja, Said, Jalen, Jaren, and Zach Edey was plus 33.3, which would be in the 100th percentile in the league. 62.5% effective field goal range, 62.5 free throw rate. Both of those would be in the top 100%.
Shockingly, Zach Edey came in and made a positive impact. That's contrary to what you may hear on some of the shows that are aired on this network, but there's a couple of us that have stood by Zach Edey's side from the jump, and he proved me exactly right. Man, I love when people like that make me look smart. It just gives me hope for the future in this offense. Everybody played better. There was some new juice, and sometimes that's all you need. Fresh faces, a lineup switch up. You get the right players out there, it gives the team juice.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with your host, Lute Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Two Buck Sports Show. I'm Uncle Buck, joined with Rusty over here to my left. He is cackled. What are you laughing about?
While we're live, currently on air, Lane Kiffin is live on the Pat McAfee show, as if your nightmare couldn't get any better, any worse. He just said that the ultimatum was fake news. I don't know if you saw that part or not.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I dare him to try to coach this team, or to say that I'm going to be the next head coach at LSU or Florida, and I'm also going to coach Ole Miss to the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. Whether there's a blood oath ultimatum or not, he's not coaching Ole Miss if in the playoff if he chooses to take another job next year.
It feels like back in the day, Facebook loves drama. Like that's what Facebook was invented for. And back in the day, there was a feature where you could mark your relationship status as it's complicated. And that's exactly what it is in Oxford, Mississippi right now. It is complicated as it's ever been. Cue the music, Drew. Should I stay or should I go? As Lane Kiffin is still weighing his options. We talked about it in depth Sunday night on our Monday episode. Only for it to really be pushed over the last 24 hours that his wife or his kids or somebody was on a plane to Baton Rouge to tour Baton Rouge and see if it was a city.
Just to make it weirder, it's his ex-wife.
Ex-wife, that's what it is. I knew it was like wife didn't sound right. Ex-wife and kids went and toured Baton Rouge. Like this thing is getting wilder and wilder, and we still got football to play.
Yeah, so, I mean, if anybody was hiding under a rock or doesn't care, yesterday came the reports that there was an ultimatum given to him by Ole Miss that said we need to know something sooner rather than later because you're not going to coach this team in the playoffs. I believe that whether or not it was worded as strongly as what it was reported or not, the truth is the truth, and that he's not going to coach this team in the playoffs, and we're not going to just sit around and wait till after the playoffs for you to decide. Like, you're going to have to give us a decision, and it's just not Ole Miss pressure. Like, there is a transfer portal window that opens up first part of December, and then there's the high school recruiting class that happens the first signing day is in the first week of January, I think, and the other schools need that to happen as well. It needs him to be there for that. So the pressure would be applied from multiple points to make a decision, and so I don't care if he says that there's not an ultimatum. There is an understanding there. But yeah, Lane Kiffin went last weekend to.
I'm with King Meeks. We need Pablo Torres on this case to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. But he sent his ex-wife and son to Gainesville over the weekend, and then he sent his ex-wife and son as well as his sister-in-law, who is Chris Kiffin's wife, who Chris Kiffin, also a staffer at Ole Miss, his wife, to Baton Rouge yesterday. They made a day trip in which they looked at subdivisions, houses, allegedly, according to Neil McCready of Rebels 247, who I follow because he breaks every single head coaching report that has ever been at Ole Miss. He says that they went as far as timing commutes from different neighborhoods in Baton Rouge to campus. LSU people think that Florida is not in the conversation anymore. I don't know. Honestly, Ole Miss is still the current job. He's still in Oxford. He's still preparing, more or less, for a playoff run and a finale in the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. So I don't know. All I know is that I hate the fact that we're just talking about this. I talked about this, and it's kind of how we ended the show on Monday's show, yesterday's show. But like, we're 10-1, and Ole Miss fans, smaller, non-traditional blue blood fans who make a crack into it. The traditional blue bloods think that we should be happy with the fact that our coach is leaving. But the fact of the matter is like, this is the culmination of 6 years, and everything you have inched up, and you've inched up, and you've inched up. And honestly, the only time you've taken a step back in 6 years was because of another coaching carousel rumor with Auburn 3 years ago. And you've reached the apex, and I don't really get it. I will say I think it's unfair. Part of this, the schedule is unfair to Lane, because unlike in professional sports and the way that this college sports has the elongated playoffs and mid-season firings, you don't have to ask permission to interview sitting head coaches or assistants and all that like professional sports does. There's really not anything for Lane to do differently. Like, if you want to take another job and you want to explore, like, you don't really, this is the only time you can do it, which sucks for him. But I don't really care. Like, I know the timing sucks, and I know that you may want and covet this LSU job or this Florida job, but the job is the job at this point, and there's not been anything that Ole Miss could have done differently to increase your likelihood of success here. You're in the freaking playoffs, so just hang up the phone and go to work.
Ole Miss has done everything that he has asked. But he has said, again, just for to bring the lead back up, he has said there was no ultimatum. It is not true. He said the fans have paid for this. We have paid for this. Enjoy it. I love it here. He's got Kewan Lacey on with him. Yeah. He's saying all the talking points. But if that was all true, if it was, I love it here, I want to be here, this is my home, there would be an extension sign. There would be some type. And I understand posturing. That's what I do in real estate. I was working on some of that this morning. Like, you create posture. I understand that. Jimmy Sexton is probably eating this up. But, like, if you were truly committed to the Ole Miss program, like Kirk Cignetti is in Indiana, like Matt Rule in Nebraska, like some of these other coaches who signed their extension, there's a way that you could shut this down.
Yeah, I mean, two things can be true at the same time. I've never, if he leaves for LSU tomorrow, it doesn't tell me that he was unhappy at Ole Miss. And by all means, I'm not asking you to be happy. I'm asking you to coach this team through the playoffs and give the fans, give the players what they deserve. What they deserve is not this. And like Kewan Lacey, he's got him and he's pumping him up now, but he's leading the SEC in touchdowns. He just had a 250-yard performance. Any other coach is probably beating the drum for him to have a Heisman campaign. Like, he has been unbelievable, the most important player on this team this year, and we're just not really talking about him. And all we're talking about is Kiffin, and more than anything, it's just frustration, and it's tired. I'm just tired of it. And if the only reason that he stays at Ole Miss is because this team's in the playoffs, then we're doing this next year. I'm not asking you to love Oxford. I'm asking you to buy in and commit to the fans. And
what's
in a moment that should be our peak.
And it's tough, too, because of the bye week coming up. You don't have a game, even if it was the Citadel or the Mississippi School for the Blind and Deaf, a game this weekend for a distraction. You don't have that. It is going to be an absolute circus for the next 10 days as this thing heats up. On FanDuel, Ole Miss has opened as a 10.5-point favorite in the Egg Bowl next week. I'm curious what that line will look like as we get closer to the game, if Lane Kiffin leaves, if the distractions can do what distractions can do in a game that needs no help to be chaotic. I just, for your sake and for my sake too, because we're going to have to talk about it, I do wish that Ole Miss had a game this weekend, just for at least to kind of take the focus off of it. But if nothing else, it's only going to get more magnified the closer we get to the Egg Bowl.
Well, the Friday of is either I think it was the Friday before the Citadel. He had a Zoom with Florida Brass, and that doesn't bother me either. Like, again, if this is what it takes, like if you're going to explore this, then I'm glad you're doing it now. It's become a spectacle. And honestly, in years past where I thought Ole Miss would become the laughingstock and be diminished, like, oh, well, he's just looking to leave Ole Miss. I feel like the national narrative about this is, what is Lane really doing here? Like, why in the world would you do this? It's become a black eye on him, other than reminding everybody of their preconceived notions of Ole Miss's little brother. Like, that's not the narrative right now. Yeah. But he's got to make a decision. I guess now is as good a time as any, because if you had this would not resolve before the Egg Bowl if there was a game this week. And so I could take it now. I mean, best case scenario, if he leaves, he tells us now, and we can actually find a way to kind of get a coaching search going. I mean, if you're going to leave one way or the other, might as well get it rolling.
Would John Sumrall be your top candidate if he does go?
I think that John Sumrall is the next coach at Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves. I think that there's a reason why he has not been announced at Auburn. I think that John Sumrall would be the coach at Ole Miss. John, and this is per, again, Neil McCready and they're the Rivals Network, Ole Miss podcast. John Sumrall built his Tulane program as a direct model, one-to-one model of what Lane does at Ole Miss. And it's not necessarily the offense that's running, the defensive scheme, but the infrastructure, the NIL, the collective, like that. He modeled it after Lane, and I think it would be a seamless fit. I think he is a young, energetic coach in which would really, you wouldn't miss a beat as the fan base. And honestly, the fan base is never going to be more unified if Lane leaves anyways. It'll just be unified in the hatred of Lane Kiffin.
Of Lane Kiffin, for sure. Yeah. But one coaching vacancy did get filled since our show on Monday, and that is James Franklin is now the head coach at Virginia Tech. Drew, I don't know that there was a better fit for either program or coach out there. Obviously he could have come to the SEC, tried his hand at that again. But if you go to Virginia Tech and you recruit and you go win 8-9 ball games every year like he was at Penn State, you get one game away from playing for a national championship at Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
They're going to build a statue next to Frank Beamer of you.
Yeah, I think that this was a good hire for Virginia Tech. I think it was a better hire for Virginia Tech than it was a job for James Franklin. I think James Franklin's one of the best coaches out there. He may be a little tired. He's kind of a old guard kind of guy. He's been around a long time. But I think Virginia Tech really pressed him. We talk about ultimatums. There was reports out there that Virginia Tech told James Franklin it was time to poop or get off the pot. And
because rumors were he was holding out for Florida State. We don't know what's going to happen there.
Well, and I think that James Franklin would have been an incredible hire because the rumors are everywhere. This is the wildest and going to be even wilder coaching carousel that you've ever seen. And there's real reports that Eli Drinkwitz wants the Florida job. He's a Florida alum. I think James Franklin would have been an amazing fit in Missouri or Arkansas, or, if you want to see what round 2, when coaches start leaving to take other jobs, you talk about whether Florida State hires Norvell or if Ole Miss were to open up, or, there's a ton of jobs that could come open that would probably be more appealing to James Franklin than Virginia Tech. But the old adage is a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, and they're willing to pay. I like the fact he's got to like the fact that expectations are not what expectations are at Penn State.
From what I was reading, he is well known in that DC, Northern Virginia kind of metro area from a recruiting standpoint. He recruits that area very well, and that's going to help. That was a big tie there. Number 2, you've got a chance in a conference where is anybody really good and dominant anymore? No. You got a chance to be in a conference where you could become the top dog. Virginia Tech has never been that national title contender. They've had some spurts here and there with the Mike Vick years and whatnot. But you have an opportunity to go to a conference where you can instill your way, your system, your program that was successful in one of the best conferences in the country. Big O air quotes on that, on the Big Ten. You implement a system like that, you go in 9-10 ball games every year, you're fighting for a playoff spot because the ACC at any given time is not that good, this year especially.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think the path to playoffs, if you get into a middle tier ACC school, is great. This has been the worst the ACC's been ever, and I don't really see how it gets better because Florida State is probably going to open up. Clemson has not figured out the NIL era. You're talking about
there's a world race where Brent Key could go to the SEC and Georgia Tech could fall apart.
Right, and the race for the ACC championship game is going to be 2 of Miami, Georgia Tech, and Virginia, Duke. And you could have a Duke in there who has got 4 losses on the season, but 3 of them are out of conference.
Yeah. I don't think they have, but maybe 1 conference loss. I'm looking that up right now because
okay. So this, look it up, and I'm going to tell you why this is stupid. Look up how many conference losses Virginia has.
Virginia is 6-1 in the conference.
Okay. Now look up there, look at their schedule, and tell me wins and losses over their conference games.
The North Carolina State game at the beginning of the year was not a conference game because
Virginia has 2 losses to teams in their conference, but one of them doesn't count.
It's not a conference game. When they played NC State way back in August, they lost 35-31, but their only conference loss was a 16-9 loss at the hands of Wake Forest.
Yeah, it's just, and I guess if you're a Virginia fan, you're going to scream, well, we're playing 1 extra conference game, so it shouldn't count. But if I lose out on the ACC championship game to Virginia, who has 1 conference loss, I'm going to be really mad.
Right now, you've got Georgia Tech with 1 conference loss, Virginia, Pitt, and SMU, all at 6-1. Pitt and SMU are 5-1. And then right below them, Miami's 4-2, Duke's 4-2. Louisville had everything in front of them, and they've just absolutely lost 2 in a row. But it's going to be an interesting finish in the ACC. But whoever it is that comes out of the conference is going to get boat raced by whoever they play in the playoffs, because I just don't believe in any of these teams are on an elite level.
No, and if you take the Lane Kiffin situation out of Ole Miss right now, and you talked about what we should be talking about, is Ole Miss is currently a 10.5-point favorite on the road in Starkville for the Egg Bowl. If you win, you are going to be no lower, in my opinion, than the 5 seed And so you are either going to draw the G5 team, which right now is either
Looks like
James Madison or North Texas or one of those.
South Florida, one of those.
Well, South Florida took a loss last weekend to Navy.
But I thought they still had them. I'm pulling up the.
Yeah. Anyways, you draw the G5 if you get the 5 seed, or the 6 seed. You're probably going to draw the ACC champ, which if you're Ole Miss, that's like the best case scenario. And then you play the 4 seed, which could very well be Indiana if they take a loss to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Like, buddy, there's a Penn State-esque path there to the semifinals. If you could just keep your nose clean, the 5 seed may be the 5 or 6 seed may be the best place you could be.
As of November, let's see, because they'll release the updated poll tonight. So with South Florida will fall out. JMU has moved up in the coaches poll and the AP poll. They are currently 21st. North Texas is 22nd. Those are your highest. And then G5 of the G5. And then at 24 is Tulane. So it feels like James Madison right now is the front runner in the Sun Belt, the Fun Belt, to go be the representative of the G5. Their only loss being at Louisville, 28-14. They have just motored through the Sun Belt, winning most games pretty handily, with games against Washington State this weekend. And then they close out the season at Coastal Carolina in a big rivalry game there in the Fun Belt.
I'm going to tell you, if Lane leaves and you want to hook your wagon to John Summerall, which I do, Tulane taking a loss would not be a bad thing. I don't want Tulane in the playoff.
Yeah, because that's that much longer you got to wait. Because a guy like John Summerall is going to stick around. Yeah, and if you're going to force Lane to make a decision before the playoff, then you are not going to wait on a coach in the playoffs to make the decision. Yeah. Which Tulane is not likely. They do have 2 losses on the year, one to Ole Miss, one at UTSA. They're going to need some help. They're going to need some losses by JMU and or North Texas to get there. But they do play at Temple this weekend. 5-5, 3-3 in conference are the Owls, and then finish against Charlotte, who's 0-7 in conference and 1-9 overall. So they're gonna. You just need what you need is you need everybody else to win out.
JMU, North Texas to win out. Yeah. Which I wouldn't bank on anybody winning out at this point. We see some crazy stuff this year in college football.
Yeah. But one last time, James Franklin is the new coach at Virginia Tech. King Meek said he had 49 million reasons to stay home and chill, but now he's going to get $9 million from Penn State in the buyout versus the total $49 million, and he's going to get paid handsomely by Virginia Tech. Drew, again, I think it's a good fit. We'll see what that looks like, but the first coaching domino has fallen, and it was one we felt like that you kind of saw coming.
This
with
was
kind of
in the works. Yeah. This was kind of in the works. And I have to say, good for Virginia Tech. You went and got your guy. Virginia Tech has been wholly irrelevant for a very long time. Yep. And who do you think's kicking themselves more than Shane Beamer right now? Because he's going to get fired from South Carolina and have no daddy's name to fall back on.
No, and I think that Penn State is also going to kick themselves. They'll never admit it, obviously, but I think James Franklin goes there. He's successful. Who knows who's going to take that Penn State job and what kind of job they're going to do. I mean, yes, you're in the Big Ten where you really only have to compete with Ohio State.
It's a really good job.
It's a really good job, but I'm curious to see who has more success over the next few years in Penn State or James Franklin.
Penn State. I think that they're going to end up with one of the hotshot coordinators. Everybody only wants to talk about the sitting head coaches, but Brian Hartline at Ohio State, if they want to go get the other Ohio State coordinator, they took the defensive coordinator last year. It didn't go well. So they can go get the offensive coordinator this year, make him the head coach and see what happens. Or the other coordinator that you hear a lot is the cat from Oregon.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but
so I'm pulling up the odds as they sit. The next coaching odds. The odds on favorite is Brian Hartline at -250. Yeah. Then you've got Drinkwitz plus 275, Joe Brady plus 300 of the Buffalo Bills. Jeff Brom, Manny Diaz, Matt Campbell, Brian Kelly, and Mike Elko at plus 1,600.
Well, that's not happening.
It feels like it's going to be Brian Hartline.
I'm really surprised that Brent Key is not on that list.
I am too. I'm curious about that.
I thought Brent Key was. I'd saw a report that was possibly linking those two together, at least enough to get a number on it, because they'll take your money.
If
they put a name out there, they'll take your money.
Yeah. Currently, I thought I know Brett Key at one point was pretty high up on the Auburn list. Currently, the odds-on favorite there is John Summerall, followed by DJ Durkin, followed by ads and ads and ads and ads. I hate when they do all these ads. James Franklin is no longer on that list, but it seems that John Summerall is the leading candidate for Auburn.
Auburn goes and beats Alabama this weekend. DJ Durkin's going to be the head coach at Auburn.
Yeah, and we will not have a single season go by without an SEC coach with a murder or manslaughter, at least, on his record.
Yeah, well, to Durkin's credit, he took the fall there, but that was a summer scrimmage in which he was not allowed to participate in. But you have to answer for the reactions of your paid assistants as well.
It's your program.
And so I defended him. I defended his part in the process when he was the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss, so I can't really throw him under the bus at Auburn.
Too much.
Although the joke stands.
It does. I mean, we got rid of one, only to still have another. But that's going to do it for your Tuesday edition of the 2 Bucks Sports Show. I'm your co-host, Rusty Buckets, with my guy, Drew Gann, Stone Cold Steve Austin checking in here. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central, live on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. In the meantime, y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. Check out the Lane Kiffin interview with Pat McAfee. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Watch me on the post-game bounce tonight, recapping the Grizzlies and Spurs game, and come back with us at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the 2 Bucks Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.